So preservation of these bloodlines seems to be an important task to make this entire system work. So which bloodlines are we talking about exactly? Bloodlines of the Illuminati was republished in a 3-volume set. Volume 1 has the first 8 of the 13 top Illuminati bloodlines. The Astor family, the Bundy family, the Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Lee, and Onassis. Volume 2 has the remaining 5 of the 13 top Illuminati bloodlines. Rockefeller, Rothschild, Russell, Van Duyen, and Merovingian. Volume 3 has the 4 other prominent Illuminati bloodlines. Disney, Reynolds, McDonald, and the Krupps. So what do we have so far? So we get this idea of ancient bloodlines tied to some special occult knowledge, handed down to some priesthood by either supernatural beings, quasi-supernatural beings, before some catastrophic flood period, and sages that civilized mankind, making those that receive the ancient occult knowledge rulers. For millennia, these kings, queens, pharaohs, emperors have interbred to preserve and perpetuate their bloodlines. Ancient Sumer and Babylon, now Iraq, Egypt, were expanded into Europe and became the royal and aristocratic families that ruled through the British Empire, and those of France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and Germany. And so over time, they've installed puppet world rulers, concealed their true identities, and they rule in the background so that no one would ever really know who runs the world. As a matter of fact, their rule would be dispersed so widely, it would be difficult to conceive that there's such a small select group ruling the world through their perceived divine right. They realize that nations will come and go, that empires will rise and fall, and that the golden ages of human achievement would be succeeded by the dark ages of foolishness and superstition. And so to answer the question of what is the New World Order really? Well, it's a synthesis of the divine right of kings to rule, a systematic plan to keep the ancient bloodlines intact, maintenance of the secret occult knowledge passed down by rites and rituals, the building of an illuminated society worthy to live in this new system, a worldwide social system completely controlled by these self-anointed elite. The elite claim to be in touch with these originators of this ancient occult knowledge. These originators of this ancient occult knowledge is on another plane of existence and are referred to as the hierarchy. The hierarchy will reveal themselves when the time is right, and those who are working toward these goals are called global world servers, as we shall see. Well, who are these people really? Well, they're survivors of empires past, made up of super merchant families, barbarian kings, banking families established during the Middle Ages, and royal family bloodlines traced forward through time from ancient Babylon, through medieval history to Rome, modern Europe, North America, and now worldwide. And so you get these proposed bloodlines like the Astor family, the Collins family, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Lee, Onassis, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Russell, Van Duyen, and Merovingian. And so you get the corrected names: Bruce, Cavendish, Demetzi, Hanover, Habsburg, Krupps, Plantinga, Rockefeller, Romanov, St. Clair, Warburg, Windsor. And then we have the Ptolemaic or the Papal bloodlines: Orsini, Aldobrandini, Breakspear, Somalia, Farnese. And then there's other Saturnalia bloodlines, or the 13 Zoroastrian bloodlines, the House of Borgia, Breakspear, Somalia, etc., etc. The family aspect, though, is nowhere close to being the whole enchilada. Because though there are powerful, wealthy families, their power and influence pales in comparison to those who believe that they harbor the ancient occult knowledge. And those that have control not only over these families, but over the occult knowledge, the secret society superstructure, the caretakers of the ancient occult priesthood, but who have power to initiate new candidates worthy to partake in what they call, well, the great work, or the order of the quest, or the great plan, in building this new enlightened world. And so what is the real deal behind the scenes? The real deal behind the scenes seems to be a global system structured to keep the divine right of kings to rule intact while being caretakers of the ancient occult knowledge of the mystery religions of old. And unfortunately for us, we're not too high on the organizational chart in this plan. We are considered the useless eaters, the virus infecting this planet, roadblocks to progress and ultimate destiny of the enlightened ones, relegated to serfdom in service of our earthly rulers. And so behind the apparent randomness of the world's events has been this ancient occult network. The network is controlled by ancient interbreeding bloodlines and their offshoots headed by the 13 families. To preserve the ancient knowledge of the mystery religions, the arcane mystery schools were formed to pass down this information. This knowledge is both preserved and reserved only for those who prove themselves worthy, and so are hidden behind various rites and rituals. And a society must emerge, trained in this ancient occult knowledge, that will be the final enlightened society, worthy to live on this earth in this new age that's being erected. This is why all the quotes have the word new as a prefix for what they do. This is the new order of the ages, a new societal structuring. This is the new world economic order, an economic restructuring. This is the new world order or world government restructuring, or the new age movement or the world religion restructuring. Those that are the enlightened will not have the divine right of kings to rule themselves, but merely to be ruled by the elite who have been ruling in the background by this sacred occult knowledge. This is why numerology is so important to them. In keeping with the great plan, events have to be carried out in specific time frames, honoring this ancient occult knowledge and provided by the hierarchy. And so this is why you see certain important events are timed with precision to certain astrological signs, numerological signs, based on specific dates at certain latitudes and longitudes, using certain magical numbers or a repeat of certain numbers like 3, 6, 11, 13, 32, 33, 36, 39 that you'll all see in the media. As W. Wynne Westcott in his book, The Occult Power of Numbers, he says, numbers are the key to the ancient views of cosmogony, spirituality, as well as physically. To the evolution of the present human race, all systems of religious mysticism are based upon numerals. The numbers 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 33, and all multiples of them have esoteric meaning and are used in a variety of ways. They are geometrically encoded in brand names and encrypted in corporate logos. They are used as numbers of councilmen, signatories, and important documents. Once you're aware of the numerology involved, you literally see it everywhere and in every significant event and wonder, why haven't I seen this before? So remember our list: divine right of kings to rule, a systematic plan to keep the ancient bloodlines intact, maintenance of secret occult knowledge passed down by rites and rituals, and by doing so, building an illuminated society who is worthy to live in that system. And in that system, people are completely controlled by these self-anointed elite who claim to be in touch with the originators of the ancient occult knowledge, guiding them from another plane of existence. Prepare a society worthy of their manifestation of the hierarchy. And so Alice A. Bailey puts it in the 24 books of esoteric philosophy produced by Lucius Trust and the externalization of the hierarchy. She says on page 17, the time has now come when there are enough people to be found who, having themselves made the religious and mental approaches to truth definite factors in their consciousness in some small measure, and having established enough soul contact so that they can begin to touch the world of ideas upon the intuitional levels of consciousness, can employ a new technique. Enough soul contact to do what exactly? Well, together and as a group, they can become sensitive to the incoming new ideas, which it is intended should condition the new age that is upon us. What does this conditioning do? Well, together and as a group, they can establish the ideals and develop the techniques and methods of the new schools of thought, which will determine the new culture. And so what does this new culture look like? Well, together and as a group, they can bring these ideas and ideals into a consciousness of the masses so that the schools of thought and the world's religions can be blended into one. Okay, so far we have enough souls that can condition us to bring about a new culture that all religions can be blended together into one. To do what exactly? And the new civilization can emerge. Okay. So for the new civilization to emerge, this enlightened society which produces a new culture, and this new civilization will do what? Well, it will produce the mental and emotional fusion of the techniques of the Piscean age, and it will thus produce an eventual manifestation upon the physical plane of the plan of God for the immediate future. Well, this is interesting. Which God would she be referring to in this plan that they're trying to bring into this physical plane of existence? Well, spoiler alert, the God that she's referring to would be Lucifer, as we'll find out shortly. After her writings are published by Lucius Trust, she says on page 3, a third factor is as follows. It has been known from a long time by the mystics of all the world religions and by the esoteric students everywhere that certain members of the planetary hierarchy are approaching closer to the earth at this time. Are these the same guys that Manly P. Hall earlier said who rule the world from behind the scenes and whom they are still in contact with today? The answer is yes, according to Manly P. Hall, The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, page 18. To join those who are really living powers behind the thrones of modern national and international affairs, page 57 says, the Master Mason, if he be truly a master, is in communication with the unseen powers that move the destinies of life. Or as he says in What the Ancient Wisdom Expects of His Disciples, page 22, the schools of the ancient mysteries have been established not by the will of man, but by the gods themselves, laboring through channels chosen from the most highly evolved of the children of earth. Having established these schools, these superior intelligences become the central invisible powers of these schools and are still in actual communication with the adepts and masters who at the present time manipulate the destinies of these secret orders. Further down he says, these 7 schools together with their branches in all parts of the earth constitute the Great White Lodge. This is the divine institution appointed to give the ancient wisdom to our planet. It is composed of all the initiates and adepts of the White Path and forms the invisible government of the earth. Well, what is the hierarchy? Well, before we get into that, stay up to date with everything Iconic by following us on all of our social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You can support us by going to patreon.com/theiconicpodcast and making a monthly pledge. You can also go to theiconiclabel.com and purchase a hat, a hoodie, or a t-shirt.